at the time versus Daf. Now it was ZETA versus Bleed. Point is, we went to 5 maps, and that was a huge win for Bleed to even get the 2 maps despite losing the series. So can they do that again? A lot of time has passed. Many patches have gone away as well. ZETA Division coming in as strong favorites as one of the 4 Korean teams. Map 1 Busan, as always. Let's see what we load in with.
Yeah, it seems to be just the kind of go-to map that we have at the moment here in EWC. So Busan going to remain to be favored by pretty much every squad. But for now, a bit of a flash there on that wrecking ball from Fearless. But something tells me we're not going to be seeing this exact comp get rolled out.
It's interesting, the Jungle Queen ban, it does kind of target Clear, but one of his main heroes is D.Va, so that was untouched. I'm still a little unsure, you know, alongside ZP and Hex, why that Jungle Queen ban came on through. Perhaps they were protecting something. I don't know that the ball is going to necessarily be banned. I heard that ball may have been good on this patch. Fearless will now prove if it is indeed. All
right, well, some big stark differences here as we do have Alpha E taking the skies with that Echo. HBS going to be sent there onto the Hanzo.
Yep.
As it looks like, okay, some instant swaps. They get a quick glimpse here at what ZETA Division's rolling.
That's very important to note is if you remember Bleed being Daf in main event from Asia, Ace was the flex DPS player now replaced by Yoshinori 2K. Ace is now role swapped onto the main support instead of Lumi, who is here, by the way. Lumi, we'll see if he ends up playing, but Ace is on the Lucio for the first time.
All right, well, point going to be unlocked. The test starting to come through. Halfway to the cap there from the side of ZETA Division, but now jump onto the back line, and Violet's going to be taken down. High Vision able to find the opening kill. Laura going to be looking to try to break down this D.Va mech and will be successful in that regard, but not before Finn gets absolutely plowed over. So Clear finds another kill. That's going to be the cap now coming through. Bleed out in front to start things off.
Boops and Suzu be damned. Claire can just run in, defensive matrix, allows Bleed to get super aggressive. Fearless can't do the same thing. If you're ZETA Division playing this ball composition, you need to get aggressive. I want to see them being the first movers in all of these kind of engagements. They can't be the team receiving the dive from Bleed. They must be the ones diving first.
Vision, pretty good spot as far as that Ultra is concerned, but Floor just comes through, managing to find those headshots alongside Violet to pick him off. ZETA now looking for a very fast flip into their favor. Clear just trying to stay alive. Pile driver down, gets a knock up here onto Ace. The Suzu going to be coming through, just trying to keep it protected as much as humanly possible. Well, the HP bar is falling low on the side of ZETA, but Flora, pulse bomb going to be built up. Clear going to be taken out of the mech, so now you don't have to worry about that D-Matrix denying the ult value away. But it also looks like they don't have to commit it into this fight. They can save it as the cleanup comes through, and ZETA Division will be able to get this flip right as Bleed hits 40%.
I mean, just no ultimates available for Bleed. They also used the Suzu early, as you noted, to try and save one of the other players, Ace, and so didn't have that Suzu to protect Claire. Claire was a target there, defense matrix gone, couldn't fly away, down from Fearless's bullets, and couldn't trade onto Violet, who was also low HP. If Bleed Esports managed to at least get one back, they could have forced an ultimate, they could have done something. They might force an ultimate here.
I was going to say, a decent engage coming through from Fearless, but it's going to be Flora taken down. Now Violet going to be dead as well. The sound barrier cannot come through, and they do not have the Kitsune Rush to try to match up against the likes of Poly. So now that's just going to be Bleed Esports instantly winning the return fight, getting this flip right back into their favor. ZETA Division not even able to hit 30%.
Still stalling a little bit here. No, actually, they let the cap go, but they have players coming back. Double support ultimates online. Traded 1-for-1 again. It's out for you for High Vision, but ZETA have 4 ults to work. They're gonna wait. They're gonna wait. No, Finn's just gonna go straight in.
Beat's gonna be coming through. He's just dropping that one through. They still have that dupe as well from Yoshinori to just try to further delay. Get as much ult percentage as they possibly can. He's gonna go next. Still holding on to it.
Violet needs to be the one to play this sound barrier soon. A duo of one-man advantage moment. Here it is, the 4v4. ZETA Division have decisions to make here. They don't have control of the point. They have to be aggressive here.
Minefield going to be coming through. That's going to be the self-destruct up and over top from Clear. Sound barrier in response from Violet. Gets shielding out onto just a couple of players, but it's enough to be able to find an opening kill. Because Violet's going to be taken down. So Kiriko going to be out of the fight, but it's 80% still now being crested from the side of Bleed Esports, and the kills continue to go in their favor. ZETA Division getting picked apart. Pulse bomb now out from High Vision. He takes out Fearless, and ZETA Division are running out of legs to stand on.
Yeah, High Vision just carried this one entirely. Bleed now on the 90%. ZETA Division coming back for the touch. They have enough players online to touch Fearless. Now moving over towards the Doom. Something he's been far more comfortable in the past. Giving up the ball for now. Final fight. Not a lot to work through. Flora on the Pulse Bomb, and that's about it for ZETA.
I mean, he's had the Pulse Bomb this entire time, built it up faster than we saw from High Vision, but has not gotten an opportunity to really commit that in for a fight quite just yet. Now, Duke's going to be coming through. It's going to be a second Kiriko, but no one gets the touch. And ZETA Division have a fairly catastrophic start here on Busan.
Yeah, it looks like Claire actually got the boop onto Violet there to prevent the Lucio from going in. Not too sure exactly where ZETA were on, I believe, the Alpha Yi side. No, sorry, for the Flora side for the Tracer. Unfortunately, they have 3 very quick characters. None of them ended up touching. I don't know how they want to do, even if they touched anyway. Yoshinori saves his own life by going for the dupe over towards the Kiriko. They would have had an extra support ultimate that fight. And as mentioned, ZETA Division only sitting on the pulse bomb. It's probably not enough unless Flora's going to do something really crazy. And as we move over towards second round here, I mean, this is where we typically see a little bit more Ash banned away from Bleed, which is interesting because they also have a hit scan on the team, which traditionally has been a very hard hit scan player. And you know, we always have the hit scan Tracer meme, but so far, High Vision as a hit scan player did really well on the Tracer actually.
Yeah. Looking incredibly good, and looks like it's going to be a little bit more of the same. Clear going to be sticking through here with this D.Va, so no real overall changes as it come from the side of Bleed. We do have Fearless moving back over onto that staple Winston, and Finn on the on as well.
Classic dive from ZETA Division, just minus, you know, in the past we would have had Alpha maybe on the Surge or something like that, or rather that Echo position would have been a Surge. See how we go with this ZETA Division comp now. Fearless, Winston, his best, obviously.
Okay, well, it's going to be Clear here in the mech, the first casualty for the most part. This probably will get taken down. I mean, it's going to be an instant cleanup here from ZETA Division. Complete and utter dominance, only losing out on Finn at the very end, as Ace will be able to take that 1 kill away, but otherwise team wipe going to be found, and ZETA Division will be able to get themselves established here on the point first and foremost.
It's pure comfort zone for ZETA Division. I mean, this is exactly what you want. You got Fearless on the roster for this reason. He has the main tank capabilities. He's going to fill the gaps that Bernard cannot. And we have Winston available. This is what you can do. Bleed Esports now. So we get on the second approach. Obviously, everyone's still pretty far away from ultimates. No one's really leading the pack by a large degree. Maybe Violet here. Finn under a little bit of pressure, but the defensive bubble does come on through.
It's a really nice anti, though, clipping on the 2. Punishment can't be found off the back of that, so that you managed to keep those players alive. The flip in here for Bleed's favor. ZETA only at 24%. They're going to have to try to retake this one pretty quickly.
I mean, ZETA, that's really bad.
Yeah. And now Alpha U is going to be picked off. Flora is still under fire and nearly gets eliminated. Does manage to get some sustain here as Finn happily just pumping these heals forward into Fearless to try to get that nano online. It looks like ZETA surrendering the point for a brief little period here, but not for too long. But that being said, still looking for the contest here. Are Bleed Esports trying to get every single ounce, every percentage they possibly can, but they're going to have to get their lives for it.
I think that's a win for Bleed. I mean, they're going to lose the fight, but they got the cap. They actually got more than ZETA Division. They snuck the cap away. ZETA kind of falling asleep there, and you got the rally out of Violet as well. I mean, that's a huge W in the economy for Bleed Esports, slowing down the cap as well. But ZETA should have been above 50. They should on 60% by now. Really sloppy play. They have the ultimate, so that is a silver lining. ZETA, economically, despite losing the rally, still ahead.
Couple snipes coming through here. Finn sat well back. He'll try to dive here onto this position, especially when he can see that Echo, see that D.Va. Speaking of which, self-destruct now going to be built up. Primal Rage here. A couple seconds remaining for the side of Fearless as he just works his way back over to this point. Looks to get top back up on that health bar.
He's going to be Nano next. There it is.
Nano invested. Right back over onto him as he's trying to hunt down Ace. Took him low, but cannot confirm the kill. It's going to be the sound barrier now invested. Turns his sights over to Pale. He's got a quick little swift step out. His way out over towards safety. Yoshinori as well, similarly under a little bit of fire, but then just goes in for the dupe, and Fearless is going to be taken down. Clear, able to find that kill. Alpha Yi similarly going for the copy on the Tracer, but cannot build up the pulse bomb in time to try to bring that into the fight, and now he's going to be taken down. High Vision continuing to do wonders here for the side of Bleed Esports.
It's High Vision again on this Tracer somehow, some way. I mean, he's beating the hit scan Tracer allegation so far. Yoshinori also coming over towards the Tracer. He had double Tracers on both teams for a little while there, but one ZETA Division blew their entire ult bank. It came down to Bleed Esports with just a little bit more to play through, and the mechanics shining through, particularly again on High Vision so far, who I think has been playing out of his mind these 2 rounds.
Crucial save though onto Violet, denying that final kill away, so don't get fully staggered. So ZETA Division are right back into the fight here, and Violet does nearly have that second rally ready to go. Self-destruct however still in the back pocket here, Clear, and yeah, he's just going to be able to take down Alpha Yi. A monstrous pick coming through. HP bar is slow and a couple players on the side of Bleed Esports as High Vision going to be stunned up there for a brief little moment, but the kill cannot be confirmed quite just yet. Violet with the rally rolling, just trying to keep everybody else sustained here as ZETA makes their way over to the point. Violet's going to be caught up in the crossfire. Flora able to find that kill. Pulse bomb now 29% away here for the Tracer on the side of ZETA Division. Still though, damage coming across the supports corralled together, stuck into a corner, and both going to be picked apart. As Fearless will be able to find 2. Clear going to be taken down. Yoshinori going to be eliminated as well. And now it looks like ZETA Division might just be able to win out the fight. Right as Bleed Esports take the lead.
Wow, that is so much work for Fearless. You notice that Violet and Finn both went down in the particular fight. Fearless didn't even have Primal yet. He got Primal in the middle while his supports were gone. So had that gone poorly for ZETA, Fearless could have still Primal, saw the point a little bit longer. And the fact that ZETA won that without any supports is huge. And they took that fight 4v5 at the beginning as well.
And Clear now with a swap and moving over onto the Malga, just trying to get himself back over here. Have a little bit of an instant punch behind him aside from that D.Va. But Yoshinori going to be taken down right the rep. Fearless again delivering now. Primal going to be popped, just looking to knock them away. Sound Barrier going to be coming out in response from the side of Ace. Pulse Bomb sent from High Vision, leading for a target, but it goes a little bit wide. But Fearless, the Nano, it cannot come through. They cannot bail him out. Suzu comes through right as that Pulse Bomb gets let loose from Flora, and they deny all damage away. Alfie, however, now going to be nanoed up, managing to find one. Pilot's going to be taking down the beam as well, tearing them asunder as Flora collects a kill. Ace answers one back. The sleep coming through. Alfie going to be here on the floor, but overtime starting to bleed down here with ZETA Division still out in front. Alfie back onto his feet, trying to see what he can get done here with this Lucio, but ultimately will be broken out of the Doom. Because you know he similarly builds up that Nano, throws it out, takes to the skies, looks to get the dip here on Alfie, and does manage to do so. So this round, this map, not quite done yet. Fearless does rejoin, does find a pick, but it's Bleed in control.
I mean, that was so gigantic once again for the DPS of Bleed Esports. Yoshinori finding the Nano in the middle of that fight, the duplicated Nano keeping High Vision alive. And Ace with the clutch sound barrier was a little bit late, doesn't save all the members. It was 4v5 from Bleed, but they survive. Now the double 99's coming through. Violet looking over towards the rally. It might be the only ultimate. Clear desperately needs to find Cage.
Fearless is going to be taken down. Clear just goes sprinting forward, takes out the Doom, and now double overtime on the other side of the flip's going to be coming through. ZETA Division able to claim the point. Min, however, going to be eliminated the rally, rolling for Violet, trying to keep them all alive, but he gets stunned up. Absolutely melted in the corner. High Vision collecting the kill, and Alfie, he's got nowhere to go. Just skirting around the pillar, but eventually will be found, swatted out of the skies like a pesky fly. The Fearless cannot last very long on his own. The overtime will bleed down, and Bleed Esports, they are going to be taking this opening map of Busan in 2-0 fashion.
My God, the script writers are damn good so far this tournament. We got a brand new patch, brand new venue, brand new organizations for both of our teams. But one thing remains the same. Bleed Esports are gonna beat ZETA Division on our opening map of Control. They did so at the Asia main event. They will do so in Game 1, Map 1 here at the Esports World Cup.
And what incredible fashion to make it happen in. It felt like, yeah, I mean, very close on the second round, that downtown. It was looking like ZETA, okay, we're gonna extend this to that third and final. We're gonna be seeing Mecha base, but Bleed, they put their foot down. They say, absolutely not. We're finishing you right here, right now. But there's plenty to talk about just from that one map alone, so we'll pass it back over to the analyst desk to break down Busan.
All right, thank you very much, guys. How about that? Exactly how ZP drew it up. If an upset was supposed to happen, was it? Wait, they got to win Control, right? Control's how they had to do it. Bleed able to do it here against ZETA.
Okay, well, I'll take it a step further then. I mean, it's the D.Va play is exactly how they did it the first time around, too. Like, that was the amazing thing, that D.Va throws them off. On the first time that this happened, and we keep referencing this match that happened, it was the last time that Bleed Esports had actually played a match, because I think they got eliminated shortly after. And the D.Va play just drove them nuts, and they did it on Ilios, and it was something that even after the D.Va gets demec'd, it's buying time. But there was a huge clutch play at the end there, too, with the from Yoshinori, who's coming into play. Didn't play in the last series against these two teams because we had a roll. So there's a lot to break down. But this duplicate onto Ana, hits a sleep, gets the Nano towards the end, finds a Nano target, goes to the sky, wins the 1v1. Like, that was a clutch play, and this could be a momentum swinger.
Yeah, and again, this goes to the script right now. The script was, if Bleed was going to make it close, they win here. However, I do think ZETA made it a little bit easy on them in a few respects, which is that there was a huge gap between Fearless in round 1 and Fearless in round 2, and the gap is entirely explainable by ball being played in round 1, Winston in round 2. You just look at the general impact when Fearless was on ball versus Clear on the D.Va. Clear was out making space for his DPS, just, they could do anything. Meanwhile, Alpha E just going, I can't do anything. There's a D.Va always on me. Was Fearless's ball having the same impact? No, it was not. But then Fearless swaps to Winston, and even though they lose round 2, you could tangibly just feel the difference that Fearless had in the game on Winston in round 2. Now, the big question for me going forward is that, is it still Fearless for map 2, or is it Bernard time?
I mean, it's a great question. We shall see. That's something that we have many minutes to figure out. So one of the interesting things that happened with this roster that from Bleed was having the role swap. Ace had been playing the secondary DPS for this team for a long time. High Vision was almost always going to be playing, and then Ace would play a Torb, a Symmetra, and then if anything else, to cover the Tracer role for this squad as well. Now moves over to support on not certain why. I'm trying to get confirmation of that. But played a pretty solid Lucio. Looked okay. But it also creates a spot for Yoshinori to come in. And Yoshinori is good on the Genji and the Echo, the Flyer characters, who I think are really good at this meta. So at this point, you have to even wonder if they're going to maybe ban an Echo, because the Echo battle was kind of one-sided in some of those moments, especially with the duplicate value that they were getting.
Yeah, again, and it looks like we have some of the changes made right now as map 2 heading on over to Servasa, so it will be a flashpoint. ZETA gets the pick, right? They get to pick the map, so they pick Servasa. They also get to pick the ban, which ban, I guess, priority, which order, and which one it is. They want to ban first. They get rid of that Lucio, which is like, all right, Ace, we see you make that move. Let's see how you do now if we get rid of the thing that you're comfortable on. Second ban will be Winston, because, as you said, it was very tangible how ZETA changed when Winston came off, and it was like, all right, we're not just doofing around with the ball anymore.
Right, so banning Lucio, I mentioned this about ZETA, like now you can put Violet on whatever you want. We might see something like a Brig if they want to dive. I mean, a lot of people don't necessarily always think of Brig as a dive hero, but being able to throw packs out is enormous. It also defends your other support in the back, and being able to swallow, but it's a good counter dive and a dive hero. So I think we might see Violet move on to the Brigitte instead of the Lucio, and I think that's a great swap, because if they're role swapping and he's like, well, I can play Lucio, yeah, well, what else can you play? So we'll see if any of that more roster changes. So that's really interesting.
And the other thing to add on in here is that Fearless out, Bernard in. So there's your answer for that question there, ZP.
Well, yeah, especially if Winston is out of the lineup entirely, you must play Bernard here. I really don't think you want Fearless in with Winston out of the pool. But here's the thing that bothers me a little bit for ZETA. Why in the world are you bringing immediately the flashpoint? And you can argue, okay, get the hard map out of the way. But on the same note, I just feel like, look, if you're trying to set up a scenario for Bleed where they go up 2-0 and suddenly you have to reverse sweep and be flawless the rest of the series, well, you've just done that. This is very much a scenario, I feel like, where Bleed can come back, take this map, and then you just got to get one of the next 3. That's a lot of pressure off. You're kind of playing with house money for a while, and while I still think ZETA could run it back, why put yourself in that position?
Might be one of those things where it's like, hey, let's just get the hard one out of the way. Now put Bleed on the back foot, because if we are the better team, let's execute on that, and let's see how the team that maybe isn't as used to the pressure, as you said, got knocked out of the last tournament pretty early, hasn't played as many matches with stakes on the line, put them under pressure and see how they deal with that.
Right, and the game mode is really interesting, too, to go to Flashpoint, because Flashpoint feels like a very honest game mode in a lot of ways. It's like, we're just going to find 5 different places, and we're going to have 2 fights each spot, right? And so we think, like, out of 10 fights, we're going to win more of them overall. So I'm really interested to see how they adjust to it. Like, I really think that no matter... I think the Lucio ban is great. I really do, because... getting rid of Lucio does not hurt ZETA at all. They can, like I said, Violet is a top 5 player of all time, support of all time, so they can start running a poke if they want. They can put him on Baptiste, and they can run Flex and have Finn move over to Ana. They can put him on Brig. There's a lot of different things. Bernard could come in and play Orisa if they want. They could run a Zarya. There's a million different ways they can run this. Usually you want to run really fast-paced and aggressive on Servasa, so you want to run like a Genji or a snowball-y kind of comp. Getting rid of the Lucio kind of slows that down a little bit, but you still have some options.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even elaborate a little bit more here, is that you think about how Control and Flashpoint are usually played. Yeah, Lucio is in the lineup more often than not because they're just fast, scrappy maps, but now you sort of have the thing where, well, even if we might prefer slower maps overall, what if we remove Lucio entirely and we essentially force this to be slower? Now, they wouldn't have that option if there was a month from now and Juno was in the game, but guess what? She's not in the game yet, so we've removed the only hero with a speed boost, so yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
The other thing to note here is that Junker Queen ban that came out by ZETA, and now heading on over to Servasa. You think maybe there's a little of like, hey, we're better than you, and we're just letting you know, so now we're just getting the hard stuff out of the way, maybe playing with their food a little bit, because the win is all that they need, and they should be the better team. They've done it before. I
don't believe ZETA is a team that feels like ZETA, it feels like they can play with their food right now. I mean, it's like one of your first matches of the tournament. You really want to come out and like go to 5 against a team. Also, like there is something to be said against, like, even if you feel you're going to beat a team, I always felt the best teams in the world, and this goes all the way back to like your San Francisco Shocks of maybe Season 3, would just get it done and get it over with, right? If you're a better team, you 3-0 them, and you move on and you look forward to the next opponent. You don't want to spend more time, resources, and energy working on one team that you should be beating, right? So I don't think that that is a likely scenario, and I don't think that this team would be doing that. Not this early in the tournament.
I always love the degree of dominance check there, basically, where it's just one of those things where it's like we have Shock versus Uprising, one of the early seasons of the Overwatch League. I guess we know how this one's going to go. And, I mean, also, you sort of have the mix where the teams are truly way ahead. They might even be playing something on paper that's messing around, and they will still crush the other team. Right. So clearly, given that these teams have played each other close in the past, I definitely don't think they would come in and go, all right, we're going to mess around. I mean, look, players in esports, they have egos, they have done dumb things from time to time. I don't know if they would be that stupid in this case.
Well, speaking of players with egos and stepping up in situations here, we got to see it in the player cam there at the very end. Got to see clear the guy from Boise. He was yelling and yapping afterwards saying, hey, this is where we belong. All of you guys here, we belong here. It was very, very cool to see that kind of pop off from a team who has now had maybe not quite a mental block, but a history now of losing to this against their opponent.
Yeah. I mean, they did win the first map against them last time and ended up losing the series, but okay.
All right, dampening, raining on the parade.
I'm changing my handle to Rain Cloud.
Yeah.
But no, I actually wholeheartedly agree with you that it's so important to get that confidence up there first, to like just get that one out of the way. Now we can breathe, we can take a little bit, and now if you lose a map, you're not in the hole immediately. Like it's just now you're playing a little bit of house money on the next map, because even if you lose, now you get to enact your strategy. You get to pick the maps. You get to be in control of it as well. I'm thinking we might see some Maga come in here, especially Flashpoint-wise. I mean, there's so many strategies you can do on Cervasa and Flashpoint particularly, but I think it's a map where being aggressive is mostly rewarded. I don't think it's a map that you really want to sit back and poke and wait, especially when probably the best player on Bleed Esports is going to be playing medium range to long range hit scan. It's not really something you want to take, so I'm guessing. And just because we have time to go, I'm just going to guess we're going to see a Genji and then some variation of a tank that can enable the Genji, a Maga perhaps, maybe even a Venture in there. Like, Maga Venture has been fun to watch.
Yeah, final thoughts, CP?
Yeah, I mean, he grabbed my point at the very end. I was going to say, is like, yes. Yeah, I mean, do not forget about Venture because, we're seeing Venture, a little bit more and, didn't quite work out for LGD in the last series, but I do think we're going to see it played a bit more as it goes on. So yeah, fully agree.
Here on Cervasa, it was Gaming Gladiators that pulled out the Venture and snuck out the win. We'll see if, maybe that'll play a factor here as we move to our second map of this series. Send it on over to the casting combo. I forgot the nickname, so I'm going to guess what it was. It was Avrelios? Was that close enough, guys? Yeah? All right. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. So, good job.
We got to go for you guys.
Speed,
you got like 3 people there, though. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, we have to somehow combine all 3 of your names.
We get Hexagon.
One.
That's an easy one. Hexagon P or something like that.
Yeah, I think that works.
I like that a lot.
All right, we'll go, or just hexagons, and then we'll use the Z from ZP.
Oh my God, hexagons.
Okay,
yeah,
so maybe we'll go with that. But either way, yes, we are getting ready to go into our second map here of this series and see how things bounce back here for the side of ZETA.
I got some thoughts about these bans real quick. So
By
we are
means.
moving over towards Cervasa Flashpoint now. I think ZETA banning Lucio is really smart, and for this particular reason, we have the role swap on towards Bleed. That looks like it's going to be maintained throughout the entire series, at least for now. They are specifically target banning Ace because he's a recent role swap. Remember, he's probably got limited time on this main support position in terms of what he's practiced. I wouldn't be surprised if he was hard spamming Lucio the entire time. So guess what? Take away the one here he's probably spent the most time on as a player that's got limited time on this position, and then you're going to start weakening that support line. So now we're going to be testing to see, can Ace play something like the Brig? Can he play something in terms of the double flex support? How deep is his support hero pool? Because he's the flex DPS player normally of this team, replaced by Yoshinori 2K so far on this roster, and that will be testing, and especially on a map like Cervasa and Flashpoint in general, where we've always seen Lucio here. Lucio Kiriko, Lucio Bap. What are you going to play now? My immediate thought goes towards probably a Diva matchup, probably either Brig Bap or Brig Ana. And I think the other position that got banned was the Bleed Winston. Now, it could be that they're trying to protect the tank position, but why ban the Winston now? You know Fearless is on this roster. Ban the Winston later for a map that you expect maybe the Winston to be playing more. They possibly did expect, okay, it's Cervasa. Maybe they keep the Fearless player in, maybe they keep Fearless in to play the Winston. You do have to, I believe, do the bans before the roster swaps. So in a way, they kind of forced Fearless out. But I also think Fearless is probably going to go out anyway. They just lost with Fearless. I think ZETA were always going to go back to Burner eventually, and he's the real threat in the team because we're in an off-tank meta, not a main tank meta.
Yeah, and I mean, that's an extra layer that I think it's going to take a little while for the teams to get used to as we do get ready to go ahead and jump into the action here on Cervasa to really get acclimated to, which is how do we really want to approach these bans? Because once you get rid of one, you can't do it again for the rest of the series. You have to make the ban before you know who you're going to be playing against. The teams can go ahead and make those adjustments. And that's why the disc was talking about at the beginning. You know, the deeper that you have as far as the deeper roster you have, the more advantageous things can be for you.
I think I don't hate the Winston ban so much. It does remove the possibility of Fearless playing again. But as I said, I think ZETA were going to swap towards Burner at some point, probably now, eventually. You still have a push later on that, depending on the map, could be Winston favored, but, you know, get rid of it for now. It was a little bit of a threat in the previous map. Cervasa, gate's about to be opening. I'm pretty sure it was D.Va. I saw the D.Va hovers, and it's actually going to be Burner, D.Va, but Claire on the ramp.
Yeah, so Claire, I mean, the one who was pretty much running that D.Va until the very end of Busan. Got to see the Mauga for a brief little moment. It's going to be Bernard coming out with that D.Va instead, and Alfie's going to be taking to the skies with that Pharah, Flora over on the Ashe.
And double flex supports both sides, so I mean that probably makes a little bit more sense for Bleed, considering that Ace probably has a bit more time on these aim-type heroes, being a DPS player himself. I was thinking Rig was maybe come through because that's something we've seen with the Divas in the past, but yeah, double flex support both sides is going to be a very pokey kind of match. I mean, ZETA in particular, look at that Pharah and Ashe along with double flex support. They really want to poke.
I mean, they do, but on the opposite side, you still have to be concerned about the guy who was really dominating at the beginning of that last map, which was High Vision. That being said, though, Alfie going to be able to find one as Yoshinori going to be trading back, but now Violet going to be taken down as High Vision speak his name, and he shall show up. He's able to find that backline support. Bernard is similarly going to be broken out of the back. Alfie going to be taken down, and this is going to be Bleed with another hot start.
I mean, again, High Vision on top of the leaderboard so far. He was my player to watch out for from that first map, and he's currently fragging again on map number 2 right away on that first point. And I think the range on market as well for Cervasa really decent for the cast. I mean, Ashe is probably a little bit better generally overall in the meta, but not necessarily on this point, not right now.
This feels like things are starting a little bit more disjointed as far as the identity of the composition though for ZETA Division, because now Bernard is going to be swapping over off that D.Va immediately over onto the Sigma.
You can play poke with this as well, but the problem is the D.Va supports the Pharah so much better. I wouldn't be surprised if Alpha E moves over towards the Echo or something later, but Pharah can still work. Not a huge fan of Pharah on market as well. The retake is a little bit weird, a little bit wonky. It's susceptible to High Vision.
On the clear, does get knocked to the ground, and now we have perfectly timed Ace able to get that Nano online. Just go ahead and try to keep this guy alive. So far, looking good. High Vision going to be taken down. Those Violent does manage to find a little bit of revenge. Gets that kill.
He's delayed.
Still no closer to getting this flip, but now with that nade, going to be lobbed in from Finn. They do take down Clear, and ZETA going to be one step closer to go ahead and getting this flip in their favor. But it's going to be in overtime, so Bleed, all they need is one more fight win, and this is going to be theirs.
I mean, what you see there is ZETA Division putting a ton of pressure onto Ace. What does that mean? Ace has to hide away. He doesn't have LOS into Clear. Clear isn't being main pocket healed by Ace, so his HP goes down. Pally needed to find the Katsuna Rush in that time. If you go from Nano directly into Katsuna Rush, I think you save that point. I think Bleed Esports continue this fight and maybe take away market, but the timing of which Clear too low HP, he backs out, Ace is backed out as well. Pally doesn't need the ultimate, and ZETA Division will clean up that fight, and now they're getting into their own timings. They have double flex supports available. Flora's sleeping for now, though.
Yeah, sleep. They're on the floor. Captain Sun going to be lobbed in. Looking for the catch of a couple different players. High Vision could be taking low, as is Ace. So far, kills not found.
Burn on trouble.
Rush comes through there from Pally, and that's going to be 2 kills going to be found here for the side of Bleed. Now a third. It's just going to be an absolute slaughter with Violet. The only man left standing here for a brief little moment to flip back into their favor, and Bleed are going to be taking our opening flashpoint here on Cervasa.
Fun fact to Kilios, Bleed so far in this matchup haven't dropped a single round to ZETA Division. 2-0 on opening Busan, 1-0 so far in Cervasa. Can they make it a 2-0 on Cervasa so far? As ZETA Division will start to slowly swap their compositions over. Burner already swapped a little bit earlier. Now it's Finn and Violet moving up to new supports. Alpha E sticking on to the Pharah for now.
I mean, it's a new support. It's the Baptiste coming through, but we still have that Pharah. You still have Bernard trying to build up towards that Flux, and he is just getting ripped asunder on this approach. Down to half HP. The Bob going to be nested here for Floor. Looking to try to create some space, but the sleep comes through.
Just
Ace
wait it out.
is putting that down there on the floor. They back away, but Ace does get clipped. Bernard just being able to bounce those M1 shots. Does manage to find them, and that should set up for ZETA to maybe get this opening capture on the second flashpoint.
Yeah, looks like the 24 damage with the 2d12 from Bernard. The ZETA Division will be able to get this first point off the back of that kill because Bleed Esports otherwise could have just waited on the Bob, had the 5v5, have a potential time in getting that Nano online. Bernard does have Flux incoming for the next fight. There's not a lot to counter towards that Ace. Maybe needs to hit the sleep dart or something.
So he's going to be able to line it up. Floor and Alfie A little bit of damage, but widely.
Bleed waiting for Nano.
Doing okay here for the time being. And yeah, the Nano now just 2% away. Similarly, that Consuming Rush is almost there. More Pally. There you go. Nano going to be invested. The push forward here from the Ramatra. Immortality field already going to be cleared out. Bernard trying to backpedal. Floor does end up getting summoned. Now the Flux is going to be in play. The drop down clear. Falling low. Gets that healing boost here from Ace to try to keep him alive. And it's going to be Alfie who ends up falling. Kepler Sun again is going to be coming through for Violet. But they've already lost out on 2 players. The punches just flying through, taking him out of the sky. And once again, Bleed Esports pushing back, getting themselves in control, and they can certainly take the lead from here.
It was the same strategy from ZETA Division as the point 1. They want to put the pressure to Claire, so much HP damage done towards Claire, but guess what? This time, Ace and Pally, both have LOS, neither support pressured. They have perfect pocketing onto Claire, and then he just rolls up, punches down everyone in ZETA Division. Burnout now on his 3rd hero so far in the map. ZETA Division, I mean, they look confused. What are they trying to play here?
It's the 3rd, but it's the 2nd. He's back over onto the Diva, but Florida's finding a fantastic opening headshot here as that Amp Matrix gets invested from Finn. Vision taken down. Annihilation going to be popped. The barrage in response. Clear just does not stand a chance. He will fall. Pally similarly cannot escape. Shinodi just going to be trying to dash his way out to safety and will be able to do so. But ZETA Division back in control just as quickly as they lost the lead. They're right back into it.
Dueling Bobs for the next fight. And it might be the final one as well. ZETA Division pushing 99 for sure. Bleed still need 1 more. I mean, if it's not clean, ZETA's still going to retake even if they lose the next fight. So
clear matching.
Okay. Clear on the Diva as well. Now just remember, Bleed Esports beat ZETA Division in Asia on the Flashpoint map. It was New Junk City. It was Diva Diva. We are on Survivor, so let's see what happens. Dueling Bobs, remember.
Just the dash forward. Overtime going to be forced out. The Bob's going to be in play here for both sides, but Ace, of course, can get that sleep. Trying to nullify, but here around the corner, just keeping space, occupied, trying to deny the push up. And the one from the set of Bleed ends up falling down the bottom of the staircase. It doesn't find too much value. Violet, however, shutting down that flank coming through into the back line. Yoshinori 2K going to be taken out. There's Violet finds that kill. Flora gets a headshot on the Pally. Clear, knocked out of the map. High vision, all he can do is offer up 1 here onto the enemy Ash. And it looks like the point win streak for Bleed will come to a conclusion here on the 2nd as we get tied up 1-1.
Well, the problem here for the matchup is because Violet is on the Alara, he's got the extra healing partner. So if we're in this extended poking battle, which we were again, Bob versus Bob, neither team actually wants to engage. They're both just poking out, finding position, jostling for position. Violet's going to out-heal Pally. Pally might be able to do a lot here, but the Alara does more in that neutral state. So ZETA Division 1-1 now. They finally got a round off of Bleed. Let's move over towards Palace, and it will be, what, Violet, Burnout on ultimates. Alpha, you might have another one here. You have to save Claire, although this time Claire is on a Diva with a Matrix. He might be to save himself versus the barrage instead.
High vision back over onto the cast as well, just trying to take Alfie out of the sky as effectively as humanly possible. First, it's going to be a Nano invested over on towards Clear.
Huge disengage.
Yeah, everybody just pulling back away from the side of ZETA Division, but now looking to hit the go button as that Captive Sun is available, just waiting to try to dodge out from that D-Matrix. Hit does go across, connects on the Ace, I do believe, but there's not that much follow-up damage to actually try to get the pop. Bernard with the self-destruct, not able to clear too much space. And just to get back into the mech, but for how long, that's a big question. They
capped that underneath Finn's window as well. That's actually insane. I don't know, ZETA Division without touching on something that is really poor again. They're just letting these points go out from underneath them.
Yeah, 2nd time that it's really happened with the Dynamite through. Flora able to collect 1. High vision going to be taken down. Anti there on to Finn. He was slept for a brief moment, got woken up. But up over the top, Alpha getting the jump there onto Ace, managing to take him out. Clear will be able to go ahead and get rid of that enemy Farah, but swiftly thereafter loses the mech, loses his life, and the cleanup will be coming through. So ZETA Division, they still haven't gotten the flip. They're going to get this fight, but they still do give up over 50%.
These small details matter, Achilles. ZETA Division should be at 48 themselves right now. The fact that they actually won the fight, used resources, but are down 0-48, momentum is gigantic on Flashpoint. You can't afford to be down 0-48 when you should be up 48-0. So Bleed Esports, they get to buy themselves a ton of time here. Reset to a completely fresh state. No ultimates will be, in fact, Bob coming through for Flora, very simple, versus Yoshinori and Claire.
Finn slept. Finn going to be lopped in. No eat on that. It connects on the 2. Finn down below half HP. Flora similarly eating quite a bit of damage. See Clear trying to go for the chase
Bob
forward here. The Pulse Bomb not going to be able to find too much of anything there. Self-destruct still going to be available, so Clear has a get out of jail free card. For now, it's just going to be a pilot taken down, but no, another sleep dart setting up the kill. High vision able to find Alpha Yi. Skirting around the back lines. That Tracer going to be eliminated.
Watch Nano engage. Ace wants it on Claire. Bob will be leaving soon.
Bob buys a little bit more time, but there's a Nano engage. Violet getting jumped on. Captive Sun going to be coming through. And again, similarly, that D-Matrix just looking for the E, and they have it. Clear takes it away, takes away Violet's life. Finn as well. Falling to the wayside. Bleed already have the flip into their favor. They're looking for the lead here on Flashpoint.
I want to make it clear as well. I mean, this might be really interesting and about the 12th to Claire, pun intended. You saw Violet's ultimate being eaten away by Claire there. You might think that's a really ridiculous thing. Why is Violet doing that? But he's actually forcing the entire defense matrix from Claire during the Nano, and it kind of wastes the Nano. So yes, Violet's ultimate is gone. Captive Sun is a great ultimate, I know, but you are also wasting Claire's time. They don't win the fight, but I can see and understand the strategy from Zeta, so I don't mind it. They now need to get a good retake coming in, though. That's the most important thing. Set up a good window for Finn.
All right, well, the touch is going to be there. Not going to allow for that one to get away scot-free, but they still need to try to win up this fight. Otherwise, Bleed going to be moving up 2-1. Have that map point in their back pocket. Deadeye now going to be popped. High Vision looking for a target to sleep under Bernard. He's trying to break the mech, but no. He manages to get the D-Matrix up in time, keep himself alive. Anti's there, but now Clear out on the point. Clear pops that self-destruct, tucked away behind the fountain. Does manage to get back into safety, but Ant Matrix still set up on the stairs for Finn. Just trying to play around that one here, trying to really enable Flora to do some damage. Flank going to be noted. High Vision going to be taken down. Bernard able to find him with the rockets. Yoshinori's still similarly down below half HP. And I guess does not have that ready to go as far as the recall is concerned. Break on the mech with the pulse bomb coming through, and Ace going to be taken down. Zeta Vision rescuing this point, give themselves another shot.
I mean, Zeta were lucky to win that fight because they had no positioning. Burner was the only one that could actually get a trade, and he's got no mech now, so can Bleed respawn in time. High Vision on the sim. They want to teleport forward. It looks like they do want to contest, and they should. If they can actually touch and contest, Burner doesn't have mech.
I don't think they can get it, though. No one's going to be able to get there in time. It's going to be Zeta taking the lead.
Such a shame.
If they could have that touch, it would have actually been such a crucial timing because Pally just had gotten that Kitsune Rush online.
Yeah, I think if they were able to contest somehow. Okay, let's cue Sleep Dart. You're right, Pally ultimates. Burner can't do anything. Suddenly it's a different game altogether, but Burner was the one that actually got the kill onto Bleed Esports while Zeta were backing up. You saw them lose all positioning off the Palace. It looked like they were going to lose the fight. It looked like Bleed were going to go 2-1 on this map, but it's now going to be 2-1 for Zeta Division. Bleed Esports need to really lock in for this next point.
Capture someone once again here from Violet, trying to lead the charge. Sunstruck does connect here on to Clear, taking him lower and lower. Maybe the Suzu just go ahead and clear things out. Kitsune Rush in response as well. So we'll be able to resustain this Diva and keep him in the map.
Bob needs to go on the point, ideally here as well. Zeta do not want to blow Bob too early just to try and take positioning. You want to have Bleed on the point. Stop the point from capping. Here comes the Bob, nice.
Bob goes charging through, Nano goes out, Clear. Taking that one once again, just like trying to get up with these targets, trying to find the kill. Finn under fire, falling down below half HP. The self-destruct going to be sent up and over the top. And now it's going to be a trade out, and a trade up is Clear. Gets rid of both of the supports in the blink of an eye.
Wow. And they haven't capped. No one's capped us, so he's going to get the first cap again. Zeta will once again be behind. They use big ultimates here. Burner tried his damn best. He actually got the frags. He got the trades. I mean, he really prevented things from going worse for Zeta Division. But that one kill from Clear, self-destructing Alpha E. How did he get caught out by that? Come on, we're at the top level here. This is Esports World Cup. Alpha E, you cannot die to these self-destructs. That wasn't even like a purposely planned self-destruct. That's like, Claire, I'm about to die. I need a reset mech. I'm praying for something here. I'm just hoping to get maybe even a healing pylon. He gets a hold down Tracer, and Zeta Division are down 1.
Now they are, and now it swaps here onto the supports once again as Finn moves over to onto the Ana. Violet over onto the Brig. This one's for all the marbles to try to close out Saravasa, stop Bleed from being able to run this one back and potentially get themselves up to 0
have
in the
no
series.
timing versus Pally. I mean, he's about to get another Kitsune Rush, and Zeta have what? No entry position at all. Alfie has to land the stick of his life, but Suzu's still available. I mean, this is going to be really tough, actually.
Only a little way out, but the heals start coming through. Ace keeping him alive. Alfie just trying to go for the Hail Mary, lobs it in, but it catches nothing but the wall. Deadeye now similarly pushing through off the back of the Kitsune Rush, and everyone hightailing it out to safety. Looking for the angle, they're trying to clear it out, but nips Alfie there. I think the rear cannot find the kill.
Lee probably went a little too far there. They shouldn't have used the Deadeye as well. They should have just played only the Kitsune Rush, used the Deadeye afterwards. Now Zeta Division have an entry. They have Flora coming through the bot. They are 0.99 though. Finn nearly died.
Does nearly get taken down, but it's going to be Alfie falling first and foremost. The headshot comes in. High Vision finding the kill. Flora gone. Self-destruct, clearing some space. Back into the mech they go. Flip is there for Zeta Division in control for the moment, but can they maintain it? Sleep now in. Bernard going to be taking it out. The DPS still dead, waiting to rejoin. Nano across on to Clear. He's anti, but does not give a damn. He's still pushing forward, looking for these kills.
Good Nano.
It's going to be the Nano. Having to come through, but now the anti is out on the bullet supports. Violet just trying to stay alive, and he's got so much left to do. Bernard slept once again. Pilot taking down Violet. The DPS, they rejoin the fight, but now they are completely and utterly supportless. Bernard going to have to use the self-destruct, try to clear some space, try to survive, try to get that remake off. He's in the corner, but he cannot. Yoshinori gets the punish. LBE right back into the fight, taken down immediately, and Bleed. They're going to persevere. They're going to be able to get this cap. They're going to tie us up here 2-2 on Saravasa.
I mean, Burner, time and time again, he's trying to put the hand of God out there. Please let me carry. I need to do this right now. It's basically up to Burner. There's no supports alive. He's got this self-destruct, and if he remixed, there's a chance. You got Zeta Division coming back with the reinforcements. but he doesn't get back in the mech. Bleed Esports, they might have overused ultimates, in my opinion, in that second to last fight, or maybe the last fight. They still had enough in the bank. Get the double support kills. Huge buy there from Ace. Roll swap player, by the way, and now towards the final point.
And look at where they're at as far as the ult economy is concerned.
Pally
3
first.
ultimates ready to go. Pally does have that against an rush once again. Violent Bin just hovering around 30%. Sleep guard out from Finn to try to peel. Clear does get slapped, but Finn's going to be taken down. Yoshinori able to find that kill. Now they look for a little bit more. Suzu out, Clear, able to just go ahead and pull back away. Very clean exit.
No, I think that's really good coming through from Bleed Esports. Do not try and overplay your hand here. Get the cap. You don't want to waste anybody's life. Clear does not want to risk a DMAC here. Don't blow any extra ultimates. You're currently still ahead. High Vision about to get the next ultimate. Ace will have a nano as well. Ace ahead of Finn. Huge timing on that position. Zeta Division, what's their entry here? Waiting for Rally. Alpha, can he land something? It'll be hard.
For now, just trying to keep him alive, and Alpha E, Pulse Bomb, it went out, didn't find anything.
Rally,
once again, Sleep on to Clear, they are able to force that self-destruct, and maybe even already going to be taken down. So now Rally rolling, but Violet just absolutely melted down. Rally doesn't mean a damn. He gets cleaned up. And Bleed Esports now get the Electric Cowboy, High Vision, get a headshot after headshot, takes out Flora, takes out Alpha E, takes out Finn, and takes out Zeta Division's hopes and dreams. Benar, broken out of the mech, has to hold on to the ultimate at the time. He's not there. They're just going to keep staggering. They say, yeah, the point, it still takes up.
That's final fight. That's final fight. How are they going to touch? 80%, by the way. You're not going to respawn in time. Burner is not going to be alive for the recontest. Has to be a 4v5 Zeta Division recontest. And what can they do? Alpha has to go for the touch. If he gets stunned here, if he gets knocked by anything, it's done. Okay, he does get the touch, but can they fight? What do they have?
Through, has to pop the recall.
Fit Nano.
Nano about to be online, but Alpha E going to be taken down. Bob going to be going for it, occupies the point, keeps things extended for a little bit longer, and Clear has to go ahead and evacuate. Down to about half HP. For now, the point going to be cleared out, handed over to Zeta Division, but now they continue to rush as they immediately look to turn things around. They're right back into this 1R bleed. Clear being sustained here for the time being. Bernard receiving that Nano there from the side of Finn. Just trying to keep that Diva alive and well as much as they possibly can. Ace and Pally both low on HP, have to pull back. So for now, Zeta Division going to continue ticking up, but there's the strike. Yoshinori gets into the back line, finds Floor, taking him down. The DPS cut in half.
And Clear alive here, so Ace might go down. He doesn't. Win, but they're going to have to get through. Zeta looking just a little bit stronger now into this last fight.
Well, Alpha E, the pulse bombs have been a bit wanting here. Thus far, sticks haven't been found. Nano off the rip, Clear leading the charge. Deadeye pop, and High Vision gets absolutely destroyed. Ace taken down as well. Man advantage very clearly here on the side of Zeta Division, who are saying, we'll let you get close, but we're not letting you get up 2-0 over top of us. The overtime will bleed down, and Zeta will be able to clinch things up here on Saravasa to take the win.
I mean, High Vision, get this man a shield. He is carrying the day so far, but unfortunately in that last fight, he's the first one taken down. I believe a sleep dart landed directly on top of him, and they just rush him down. And if I'm Bleed, I'm pissed right now, because that was close enough that if I'm Bleed, I believe I should have won that one. Bleed believe they probably should have won that one, and it was close enough that I think they probably should. But Zeta, they came out clutch final fight.
That they certainly did. Well, we'll go ahead and pass things back over to the analyst desk once more to break down all of the craziness from Saravasa.
Thank you very much, guys. That was a hell of a frickin' go there, right? Holy cow, Bleed almost about to get it. We're about to sing Hype's praises right there. Clear just going straight on in with the Diva, but Zeta said not so fast. And when it was time for the clutch plays, they showed up.
I mean, I'll just go back and say that Violet is just one of the best players. You put him on anything. Like, it's just amazing to me because I've watched his evolution as one of the most aggressive yet rewarded Zenyatta players in the world. And this goes back. And then a new hero's released, and it's Baptiste, and he's immediately one of the best in the world on it. And then it's no surprise that he comes in and he can play Alari, of all things. And Alari works so well with what they're running because you can just kind of pop it up. I mean, I think Alari works great on Flashpoint. We're going to have to see that play out. But also works great with the Pharah and the Sky, like all of these rotating metas. But then, when the big play's needed, he ults onto the Brig and gets the bash that denies the last push. But look, we could talk Zeta Division all we want. They needed that one pretty badly, by the way, because this is a team that I feel like can be tilted. But let's give all the props of the world to Bleed, ZP.
Yeah, I mean, Bleed made them work for it every step of the way. I mean, I thought I was going to have to come out the desk and go, well, look, at this point, I'm either Z Prophecy or Z Pachamari with my prediction at the very beginning here. Because it was going to be 2-0 Bleed, and I predicted ZETA. But it would have been on the script, so it would have been good. But you break down how ZETA came into this, Hex. You sort of brought it up in the pregame before going into this map of going like, well, maybe they got rid of Lucio because they want to play slow. I don't think ZETA can come in here and play the support lineup they did if Lucio is available. I think it was strictly a compositional choice only enabled by being able to get Lucio out, which means that you can put Violet on the Illari and you can have Finn still on the BAP. You can play it slower and play a little bit more to your strengths.
Yeah, and I mentioned like Poke maybe not being the best, but that's more of like a New Junk City thing because I forgot about this mid fight that happens here where people can just set up and you do want to play Poke, and that's where the Pharah can be really good on just getting chip, and then you add Illari into that mix and you get chip at the end. Like it's just there's so much pressure that goes on. So it might be a continuing strategy if it goes further, because I know bans work in a way that they can't ban Lucio again.
Correct.
So it's going to be something interesting to watch. It might be a time where their ban ends up being. We haven't seen a ton of like damage bans so far
haven't.
Because
it's mainly been tank and support.
Because it's that impactful. But maybe you just kind of flex them and be like, High Vision, you don't get to play Cass no more. Your Cass is it's your best hero by a mile. Like maybe take that away. That'd be interesting to see. But I do think that there is some merit to watching the ZETA team be meta-proof. ZETA is meta-proof.
Yeah, well, one of the unique things about this matchup so far compared to all the matches that we've seen on the stream is that we've got the substitutions. Bernard came in for Fearless. How did you feel like that substitute did, and how would you move forward here, ZP?
I mean, as I look at it, I feel like you keep Bernard in. I mean, look, Fearless is a great player, don't get me wrong, but you think about what Bernard is good at, and, yeah, recent history might have had more on a resub, but you look way back in the past, this is someone that has thousands upon thousands of hours on D.Va and has been an excellent D.Va at that in a setup right now where D.Va is clearly strong, and that's not trying to make a pun because I'm going straight over to, you look at what Clear is doing on the other side, right? Yep. If you need to match that to an extent. Right now, I'd argue Clear has actually been playing better over Bernard. Bernard still played really well, but look, if D.Va's going to have that big of an impact on the game and the other team's going to be using it that much, at this point, I feel like you need one of your own.
So then wouldn't that be a, let's ban the D.Va, then Bernard, you come out, Fearless, come back in, you go on Winston, and let's see what Clear can do? That's a strategy they could take, right?
Absolutely.
All right, well, then we'll see how things change up. We'll get those bans for you very, very shortly. A very close 1-to-1. A final touch, 99% here on map 1. There's no way you could have seen that this was going to happen.
I mean, I'm a little flabbergasted because, like, kind of like going into this, doing the prep, I was like, hey, it'd be a fun point to bring up the last match, right? But I did not expect it to repeat because it's one of those things that, like, it is ZETA is a team that we think should be top 3, just by nature of the gauntlet that they've gone through in that region and just barely missing out on DreamHack. You think they're going to come in angry. They add some key parts. The roster looks really good when you're in a ban system and everything. And I was really just prepping it, to be dead honest, to be like, well, I want to talk really nice about Bleed as the tournament starts. Right? I don't see them going to 5 again. That was just kind of a lightning in the bottle thing. But then they win the control, which is how they started that last series. They look like they almost win Flashpoints, how they started the last series. Now, the question is, like I mentioned earlier, the escort map was embarrassing for them in the last series, going back in the history. But I really think that if you're Bleed right now, even if you lose this series, you're happy with how this started. Like, it gives you confidence that you might have a chance in this group. You might not be the worst team in this group. You might be playing forward, which I think maybe they didn't consider. But now you have all the confidence in the world. You can hear the guys yelling.
Yeah, and again, for, I guess, everyone back home, the other teams in this group, M80 and ENCE. ENCE probably one of the better European teams, one of the better Western teams. M80 could perform, could underperform. Who knows what could happen with them. So Bleed trying to find their way into the playoffs, and if they make their way to the playoffs, it doubles their money in terms of the prize pool that are there. Here's your bans as we go to Midtown. It's Mauga getting banned out here by ZETA, and BAP getting banned out by Bleed. How do you feel about this, ZP?
I think the BAP ban is actually pretty smart here from Bleed, because I'm pretty sure last time they were on a hybrid, BAP was in play. And look, one of the things that ZETA was very good at versus Bleed is that their defense was very hard for Bleed to crack. I mean, Bleed just got stonewalled both on Hybrid and on Escort, right? So you kind of want to get rid of a support that can allow your team to just sit and not die with a defensive positioning, which BAP is historically pretty good at, right? So I think the BAP ban here actually is very, very smart. The Maga ban, again, I just feel like this is Fearless getting swapped in? This feels like Fearless is getting swapped in. That's what that ban like tells me.
Yes, Fearless in, Bernard out. There
Okay,
you go.
there you
Gotcha.
go.
Well done. I'm going to hyper-focus on Violet again because I like to talk about the best players in the world, and he's always been one of my favorite players because he's ultra-aggressive. Maybe this is a thing that they don't want to allow ZETA to be able to run a sit-back, poke, double flex, right? You put Finn on Ana, and then you run the Baptiste as well. Sit back there, because this is a map where you can also run a Sigma, which is decent on it, although with Fearless coming in, we'll see. It's, maybe not his best hero, but it's very possible. And then you just don't want to get run down. So I think that, you saw what happened when you allow Violet to play whatever he wants. One of the best, flex supports in the world who's been on main support for the last couple of years. So an interesting swap here. Yeah, I think we might see some long-range hit scan too. It's always been a map for that, especially First Point. First Point in this map is so defining. It's one of the few maps that we still see full holds a lot of the time because those have gone away as we moved to Overwatch 2 and 5v5 because there's more space. You're not getting double tanked down and you're not unable to cap that very first point, but it still happens in Midtown.
Yeah. I love how you keep bringing up Violet because when you take a look at the support on the other side with Ace coming on in, moving to that role, not from like, oh, we'll just do, from flex to main. It's no, I'm going from DPS to, I guess, like flex now, or support, I guess, if he's playing Lucio. Main, it's so unique to see, wow, and you're thrown right on in. Your first test is against one of the best. I feel like Ace just has so many questions to answer, not of like, like he's been playing poorly. It's just like, wow, this is such a big change for anyone to do.
Yeah, and we're also going to have to see who's on offense and defense first. I feel like it's almost to your benefit to be on defense first and just really set the brick wall up and know like, oh, we just need to capture the first point. Shouldn't even be a problem. We just need a third. So you can see it so often here. I do feel like it is, if you're playing defense, it has to be poke. Dive has never really been great even offensively on this map. There's not a great way to like come over the top or do anything. It's a very linear first point. You got to get either through the tunnel, go up the stairs. Doesn't feel great because you're fighting uphill. Historically, in every battle, fighting uphill, not a grand idea. Or you rotate through on the other side and you maybe bring your Winston with you, or no, your Reinhardt with you. We've seen Space Station do it a lot. You boost in, you set up on the corner behind the bus. So like, it's just a defensive favored map, especially that first point. It just offers so much defender's advantage, and I think that's why they didn't want to play against a poke comp. They didn't want to let Violet just sit back there on Baptiste and hammer away.
No, definitely not. And I mean, look, you think about why this would be the case here and why this would be good for ZETA also is that these sorts of maps, right, where it takes more team coordination, more practice to go and have a good offense against like a very entrenched defensive position. That's always been the case in Overwatch. And while Bleed might be good in more chaos-oriented situations, this tests their ability to be more coordinated, which last time these teams fought, they failed at.
Yeah, well, as you see, the players have now locked on in and are ready to go. Heroes have been chosen. It will be Bleed on defense first. What do you make of that, casters?
Well, thank you very much to the Hexagons over there. Not sure what to make of this one. We'll have to see what happens as we do get ready to jump into the map, but the Malga going to be taken away.
I mean, we're looking at a situation where back to Midtown, and back to Midtown is in reference to, again, the Asia main event, which, is the main reference. The last time these two teams played, it's actually the last time these two teams played anybody at all. And it was Midtown, map number 3. Guess what? That time, ZETA Division 3-0, full holding, by the way, full capping and full holding this Bleed squad. However, Bernard versus Claire in that matchup, Sigma being played by Claire, a little D.Va, a little bit of the Orisa being played by Bernard, but we have a substitution. It's going to end up being Fearless in. Looking over towards the bans again, I mean, we're looking over towards the BAP and the Malga, so BAP being gone, Bleed wants to remove the ability for Violet to be able to come through on that. Double flex support could be a Brick BAP situation, Lucio BAP situation, get rid of all of that. And the response ended up being Malga, which I think is kind of interesting in the sense that they obviously didn't know Fearless was going to come back in, but now this, I think, kind of locks Fearless into mostly playing either Winston or Ryan. I don't know if Ryan's actually good in this meta just yet, but the other option for Fearless is probably going to end up being the Malcolm. I mean, what's really scariable? He's not going to be playing the Sigma, nor the D.Va. So, I mean, maybe Rissa, probably not. So, yeah, it's going to be Winston.
But for now, at least the hover here on the Winston. Alfie flashing the Pharah once again. Curious to see if that's going to be sticking through, because of course high vision on the opposite side. We know that he is committed in with this Ashe, so we could put that Pharah that much more at risk.
Yeah, it's going to be another mostly poke out of both teams. However, when you look at the Fearless situation, it's like a weird poke, right? Typically, this is where you actually want to have a D.Va. You look at both Ashe and Pharah. We saw that on Servas at the beginning. You look at the double flex support situation. Putting a D.Va in there or a Sigma in there makes a lot of sense. But the Winston, he's like a solo diver. They're attacking, by the way, guys. So bring Anna. That actually makes a lot more sense. Now we're moving over towards an actual dive composition.
Immediate sleep. Can they capitalize in any way,
he'll
though?
He'll TP.
Yeah, shield was there. Clear, able to just go ahead and keep protected, make sure they can't get any long-range damage through. Another Fearless just hopping across the waves. Turning up these right clicks, taking some zaps, looking for a target. Yoshinori just trying to draw some attention here, but Fearless just going to be playing ring around the rosy, going around the back, trying to maybe contest this point, but Yoshinori going to be taken down as Alfie finds the opening kill.
I was going to say, like, ZETA have rotated Fearless, but nobody else. Maybe it doesn't matter because they got a one pick up. Claire's in a lot of trouble here. He's probably going to go down. Suzu saved. But he's trapped and trained.
I mean, yeah, they get the cleanse, but now they're just pushing up, trying to further trap him, and he will get taken down. Floor able to find that kill. Pally going to be eliminated, and it's looking like Shades of the Past might be coming back up once again here as this opening volley. There's just no real resistance.
It's a shame to say that this is the sloppiest we've seen Bleed so far in this series. I mean, it's lights out in the first two maps, maybe a couple of minor mistakes, a couple of overplays on Servas, but mostly that was pretty satisfactory. But here, I mean, what was the opening defense? How does Yoshinori just get taken down by Alpha Yi? It should be hard for ZETA to rotate and get there. The 5v4 rotation, pretty clean, clear now, swapping Queen.
Yep, right over to the Junker Queen here, playing close. Violet does get knifed and does get taken down. Probably able to collect that one with a nice little headshot, and Alpha Yi similarly low ground, not exactly where the Pharah wants to be, is that Yoshinori can just that easily collect the kill.
Well, that's just a good marking by Yoshinori because Alpha Yi wants to take the long angle, he wants to make the long rotation, and Yoshinori just shuts him down. Clear moving over towards the Jungle Queen is a clear counter towards Fearless's Winston. You're also going to be having a little bit of a counter versus Byron as well with your own shout, so really do like that. No Lucio here for Bleed Esports might hurt the Queen a little bit. Ace might have to think about swapping over towards the Lucio later on.
That's going to be the case, but for now, Nano about to be there for Ace to try to match, but up and over the top, Alpha Yi making good use of that all immediately. Deals with the enemy on it. Considering Rush going to be used here by Pally in response, they're still backpedaling, giving up space.
I mean, they just Kitsuna rush in the underpass with 0 targets. ZETA Division instantly jump out. Fearless has no knife in him. He's just going to be able to move away as well. And now the Kitsuna rush is gone. Ace is going to have to ultimate next, and ZETA Division can once again, they can just back out.
Tempo's looking really good for him. Violet now. Ult online, the rally can come through. As Axe is going to be denied away. There's the drop down, but Yoshinori going to be eliminated for able to find one. Anti here on to clears. He tries to stay alive. Shield bash through from Violet. Just trying to slow him up, but he's still able to collect 2 kills now, looking for the third. Slashes across. Violet going to be falling low, and Ace will collect that one somehow, some way. Bleed Esports will be able to turn the tides of this fight.
I mean, the rally be damned. Clear just kind of rolls on through. I didn't even see any real CC come over towards him. He didn't get slept over the entire fight. He just ran past everyone, went straight for the supports. Violet rallied, apparently, but Clear doesn't care about that one. It just cleaves through Violet.
He got bashed, that was it.
Yeah, that's right. We see the whip shot coming through. Okay, you kind of deny the carnage, but Claire didn't seem perturbed by that. Keeps walking on forward, does what Jungle Queen does best. Press shift, walk up. ZETA Division losing the first fight so far on the offense.
Now, with the rally out, that rampage that's built up here for Clear can find that much more value. So curious to see how they're going to... Well, okay, never mind.
That is...
How are they going to play around it? Well, Violet can just go ahead, face to the face, takes out Clear, takes out Pilot, and that's going to be 2 kills. Immediately found here for the support, looking for a little bit more, taking Yoshinori going to be down on low HP, but Flora will collect that kill. High Vision will die, and that should just about be a cap here on B.
That's just sloppy again from Bleed, unfortunately. You can't just lose Clear off rip. They're not going to touch for this one either. ZETA Division, oh my goodness, they get that cap, having used 0 ultimates. Violet solo carrying, he gets a double kill there. Pally, again, just dying off rip here. Ace now finally swapping over towards a Lucio, but they lose B, and again, importantly, Achilles, without ZETA burning anything. That's gigantic for momentum.
Sure. Sound barrier shielding, trying to keep you protected when that barrage comes through, when that bomb just chipping away at the back line. Fearless for now, just set up above. High Vision
By the
swaps
way,
over.
you can't even just go for Rampage here either. You have to be very concerned about the whip shot. You have to be concerned about the sleep dart as well. Debate a couple of abilities out. Also ZETA Vision, they can always run.
Okay, well, Anti's out on the 2. Alfie and Violet both going to be clipped there by that Rampage, but Flora just chucks in some dynamite, finds High Vision, and suddenly that Echo completely nullified, clear, dead, Pale dealt with, as ZETA Vision are just carrying on their merry way, looking to fully replicate the script from last time.
It's just Nano, only used by ZETA Division. At this point, ZETA can clear this entire map with about 3 minutes left of time back. They got 4 ultimates still to play through. Bob and Primal, fantastic ultimates for the final fight. Alfie can just clean up, clear with a single barrage. Pally basically has to have that Suzu available at all times, and he's still waiting for ultimate.
The knife connected either way. Alfie still right as rain up here in the sky. Multiple players clustered here onto this left-hand side. Fearless with a dive forward. Bob going to be invested. Consider rushing in around the back. See when Alfie pulls the trigger on the ultimate, but so far has not needed to. There it is, layering it in as Alfie collects them all just about. And that is going to be 3:13 remaining as ZETA Division make it to the end of Midtown.
At this point, if you just tuned in and you don't even know what the scoreboard is, you're like, yeah, this is exactly what I expected. ZETA Division, 3rd seed from Korea, Bleed Esports, Minor Region Pacific. Of course, ZETA Division is just going to clean up Bleed and just sweep them, right? But if you pay attention to the first 2 maps, this is now a strange result. This is kind of crazy that Bleed is this far behind of the map so far. I mean, this is the one good showing. You saw Claire just going into the underpass, chasing down all the supports, just carving through Violet as you do on Jungle Queen, but every other fight, it's just been sloppy. Claire dies, first kill right after that replay fight that we saw in the mid, and then you look over towards the entire C. Was there a C defense at Kilios? I didn't see one. Nope. I didn't see an A defense either. Unfortunately, Claire got 1 Rampage off. He clipped 2 players, I believe, then got slipped afterwards. He's getting nailed by a lot of CC now, especially on that C point. And this Jungle Queen just doesn't look like it's putting any pressure on Fearless. If you're Fearless right now, you're asking the question, is there even a Jungle Queen? Because I'm having the time of my life.
It's pretty much just been open up the play however he really wants, and now Bleed have that much more pressure on them as they shift over onto the attack. Clear for now, going to be showing us that Diva. Maybe anticipating that Alfie is going to be sticking with Avara.
I want to talk about this situation with Avara as well, because, you know, Claire on the Diva is going to have a lot more pressure versus Alfie, but we also expect the Diva or not for Bleed. If you're Yoshinori 2K on the Echo, you need to be pressuring Alfie out. And it could be a tempo situation for Bleed where they just never had situation World Cup because they're playing Jungle Queen. They have no damage mitigation. Flora and Alfie can just poke them out. I mean, that's a huge problem that Bleed have to deal with. So, yeah, I think the Diva actually is going to be the pick here, but they're just fighting uphill now because even if they finish the map and they'll have a much better matchup with the Diva, 3 minutes 13 is huge on Midtown.
Yeah, pretty tough to try to beat that one, so let's see what they got here in the tank as things get opened up. Clear going to be put down on the floor, taking a nap for a brief little moment, and that opens up for Violet to get in on top of Yoshinori.
Yep.
Immediately the kill going to be found, the break on the mech, and the stagger on Clear. Keep them alive as long as they possibly can.
Yep.
As there you go.
You see a situation where Finn gets the sleep dart onto Claire, which he really needs to try and be able to eat if possible. He might have just been off-angled there. Because he gets slept, he wakes up, puts the Matrix directly on his teammates, but you can't Matrix a shield bash, and so Violet's going to find that kill to Yoshinori. So very clean opening defense, and now they're going to start to run away a little bit with the ult charge here. Finn looking at the 51. I don't think anyone died on ZETA as well, so no need to wait for any respawners. Bleed just don't have momentum here.
Vision looking for a bit of a pinch here, and it's going to come to fruition. Finn does get taken down. That Ana slow up the build time towards that first nano here on the defense.
Oh,
they're no closer to getting their way over to the point, and Alfie just continues to pummel rockets forward over towards the train car and comes up with the kill.
There's just no conversion of your Bleed. You have a 5v4, you need to get the 5v3 right after that. High Vision gets called by Alfie because Bleed is just slow.
Somehow holds onto the mech for a little bit longer. Pulls back into the fire department. Keeps himself alive. Top up on the HP bars as much as humanly possible. And now it's going to be the rally. Pop from the side of Violet. Whip shot finds Ace. Probably going to be taken down. And now you're supportless. 2 minutes, 27 seconds remaining as the reset comes through, and you have the stagger on to Clear. This time should be even more brutal.
It's just a timing issue, like I said, because Bleed lose that fight so one-sidedly. I mean, ZETA didn't lose any players, right? Pally is so off on the timing for the Katuna rush. Clear's just going to take a long time to die here. Finn still hasn't really used ultimate. One single timing on the rally coming through from Violet. They push him downstairs in fire station. Bleed can't do anything against that because they're waiting for Pally.
But you saw that. The call was, okay, Clear saying, like, I think I can get out, Ace comes in to try to bail him out, get that move speed going, and ends up dying as well. So it's another kill. Handed over to ZETA Division.
It really does look like 2 months ago when ZETA Division full finishes and then gets a full hold versus Bleed, unless something changes currently. And in this situation, Bleed should have an ultimate economy advantage over ZETA, but they don't, because ZETA barely spent.
Really really had to use too much, as you say. Cinderest there from Pilot, just forcing them back. Zeta Division more than happy to just play disengage and then look to go back in. Once that ult does expire, Bob going to be leading the charge. Alpha E trying to build up here towards that ult, but they deny Bob access to the point, so he's not keeping that contested for now. 2-6 going to be game it out. He's fighting one. High Vision going to be taken down. It's going to be the Nano in onto Flora. Self-destruct to try to clear some space, but the Baby Diva already dealt with. Finn will fall to that ultimate, but the cleanup is all Zeta's. They can reset. They can get themselves back in a position for a further defense, as there's just a minute and 10 seconds remaining.
And they're still further behind on ultimates. Once again, every single fight Zeta win, they win with minimal ults expended, sometimes no ultimates expended. Bleed have to play through absolutely everything. Perfect disengage. It's worth it to give up 2 ticks for that just to keep the ult economy. A minute left to go. I mean, Bleed needs an opening frag swiftly out of here.
Claire nearly just getting killed here in the neutral, pushing forward, trying to get that axe across, cannot make it happen.
Like, what utility Zeph? I think Suzu and Shout are gone, right? So what are Bleed doing now? They got 45 seconds, waiting for cooldowns, no ultimates play through.
Yeah, they still have to worry about this barrage on the opposite side. LBE having now built that one up. Clear continuing to get brutalized on the entry. Shout comes through. LBE under immense amount of fire, falling down to double-digit HP, but they cannot confirm the kill. Barrage now going to be opened up, and Clear already dead. Fearless able to find that elimination. Yoshinori going to be a headshot as Flora collects 2, and that is it. The map is going to be done and dusted, as probably will be the last one to fall. A team kill to go ahead and cap it off as we wait out the final 15 seconds.
Yeah, Zeta just push up, find Ace and High Vision who have to touch here. I mean, Clear just dies without even forcing Primal from Fearless. Fearless just kills him off rip on normal, just default. So you got so much to work through here.
Trying to push through.
Yeah, go for
Ace is trying to go for the touch, but he's instantly dealt with. And that will be it. A salute from Fearless, and yeah, GG's on the map. We'll see you in the next one. Zeta Division now take the lead 2-1.
And the problem is, like, if you didn't watch the first 2 maps, like I said, this is just standard affair. But if you have seen the 2 maps before this is really disappointing for Bleed, like exceptionally disappointing for Bleed.
Yeah, this was a very one-sided affair, one that we were not really anticipating to see necessarily in this fashion, one could say. And now, Bleed are going to be on the back foot, have to be able to win out the next 2 maps if they want to be able to take this series. So we'll see what happens, what, of course, the pick's going to be, what the bans are going to be looking like for that next one in just a bit. But that's going to be for the analyst desk to go ahead and break down. So we'll have to get ready to pass it back over to them, and then we'll hear what they have to say.
Thank you very much, Kilios. Again, I think he wasn't sure if he was supposed to throw it back to us. He was like, yeah, well, maybe we'll send it back to them.
He didn't want to give up the power.
Yeah, that's what it is. He just wants the power, yeah. All right, well, with that one there, Bleed fall, Zeta take control. This is what was expected, and it was supposed to be done in this type of dominant passion. 3-0, not even a cap.
It's a little rough when that happens to you. I mean, I mentioned how the confidence is going to be so important for Bleed going forward that it would have been nice for them to do a little better, but they looked a little lost. Bringing out the Junker Queen, it feels like it's, well, they're just going to walk on us with the Winston. We can't really figure out how to do anything about it. And you know, when they came out with that composition, and I talked about this a little bit, talking about banning heroes and whatnot, it's like you can run a little bit of dive with almost anything, right? You can't full out ban an element of dive to your composition. So if you're going to run Fearless, you can run a Brig and like, here's some packs, and then we're gonna run Ana. There's always an option to incorporate partial dive in your composition, no matter what. You can't full out ban dive, which is why I think like it's going to help the Korean teams overall, because in the last 8 years of Overwatch, Korean teams have been the best teams at dive. And so even adding an element to that, and then you've just got an Ashe sitting back and shooting at it. And so this was the first time that like it looked like Bleed was just really lost in the match.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I look at this, and right now I feel pretty good about the script writing here that we set up at the beginning, because this series in a lot of ways really isn't a whole lot different from the last time they played. The main point of contention is that, probably enabled in part by the hero ban system, Zeta was able to take Flashpoint, but the same strengths and weaknesses continue to display here in a completely different arena.
Right, it's almost exactly the same, because it's not like this Flashpoint was one-sided. I mean, this Flashpoint came down to clutch plays at the very absolute end by who's that player who's really good on this Zeta? Every time we talk about it, it rhymes with Milet.
Wait, you actually want me to say Violet? You actually want me to say it?
Yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. He's glazing.
I
know, it's like, you're looking, it's like, really?
It's yeah, it's just the EXE stopped working and needed to be rebooted.
Well, I was just going through the bans yet again, just a reminder for everyone. It was Junker Queen and Ashe. Then it was Lucio Winston. It was Bap Mauga. You know, you threw out earlier, ZP, I think, about the Mauga ban. I think that was you that said it like that. Felt like it was kind of a throwaway by Zeta. You know, it feels like with control yet again, they're a lot more comfortable in terms of this banning system.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's things they want to protect, and also if you look back at Flashpoint, they had a really big plan for this is the time we're getting rid of Lucio, and we're going to make it our own. But man, I just think you go into the mechanics of why there's an advantage for them on the non-brawly game modes. And I just think, again, it's experience. There's things in Overwatch that you just get better and better at the longer you've played, and you don't get a team with much of a better resume than what we have right now in Zeta.
All right, well, 3 maps in the book. We're going to take a short break before we get to the conclusion of this series. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Esports World Cup.
two, one, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1, go.
I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine.
Yeah, I feel like a champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. They told me I wouldn't be nothing. Came on now, second to none. I need me a trophy, I need me a ring. I'm not with the bull, but keep it a beam. You know what it is, you know what I mean. Shit, all I do is win, 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 win. Haters wanna hate, they ain't make top 10. Double, triple team, what they need to defend. I juke left and I'm gone with the win. I'm gone with it.
I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine. I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine.
Feel like a champ, MVP status. Yeah, the win been guaranteed. So let's see about it. You gon' speak about it then.
Welcome back to the Esports World Cup with Overwatch, Degon alongside Hex and ZP. 2-1 is the score as ZETA are on match point against Bleed. Bleed came out with the upset win in the first map. Very, very close to going 2-0 on Flashpoint, fall a little short, and then get absolutely bodied in Midtown. And now we find ourselves where we expected, but not the way that we expected here, Hex.
Absolutely, and there's definitely a map choice going to go on here. We'll get more into that in a second. Well, actually, it's on the screen, so I'm contractually obligated to talk about it.
Hex is a screen baby, so he's got to talk about
absolutely.
it now.
Dude, like, you put me in front of a teleprompter, I'm pretty much a puppet at that point. The band's coming out, as you can see on your screen. Bleed's going to ban Widowmaker, which is a staple of Circuit Royale, and it's because they just have... They don't have the answer to Flora's Widow.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, the most obvious point in the world, but it's also an emphatic point that must be said, because as soon as we saw that, Avril was screaming from the other side of the ring, going, they did it because of Flora, they don't want to fight him. And look, it's totally true. But it also is very interesting to the format overall here, right, is that hero bans are not something you see in Overwatch. Circuit Royale, I mean, Widow the Circuit Royale is kind of like playing Mei on Ilios, or not Ilios. Well, yeah, Ilios sometimes, and but especially Nepal, right? Like, some heroes are iconic to specific maps, but now we got a Circuit Royale without Widow, and in this case, it makes a lot of sense because Bleed definitely did not want to go against Flora's Widow here.
Yeah, well, it's going to be very unique to see how this one plays on out. Bleed's first match life is on the line here. Need a win, and to find out if they're able to do it, let's send it on over to Achilles and Avril.
Yeah, let's find out indeed. And you know what? I was really excited coming into the tournament, hearing about the hero ban system. Now that we get Circuit without Widowmaker, I no longer am a fan. This feels wrong. This feels sacrilegious, and I'm not about it.
Some people would say it's an improvement. I'm not saying it's me. I'm not saying it's me, but for all the Circuit Royale haters out there, they're probably hating it because of the fact that Widow just gets overplayed on this map. They're like, oh my god, finally, let's get rid of the Widow. Now we can play an honest map of Circuit Royale.
But
finally.
let's be honest as far as what this probably means, which is it's likely just going to be Ashe Hanzo. So we just remove this super long-range sniper. We go for a little bit more of a mid-range one, still alongside Hanzo, still alongside this Sigma.
He's still got this fire.
Okay,
he's
never
actually
mind.
he's like, you know what? If there's no Widowmaker, I'm just gonna play fire again. Because what are you gonna do? To be fair, what are you gonna do? Is Ashe is still gonna shoot him out of the skies. You gotta be careful of that. Bleed. I don't think this is the real picks here, so we'll just wait a little bit. But we are gonna force a Sigma matchup here because look at what we have. We have a situation where you are trying to force Fearless out. I actually think that's the reason Bleed went here because this is not a Winston map. They're actually kind of concerned. I said they're scared of Flora. I think they're scared of Fearless. So you want to push Burnout back in, play a Sigma matchup. Claire's actually gonna go towards a Zarya now. Didn't expect it. Zarya's been buffed. Okay, let's see how we go. It's gonna be Zarya bubble on Yoshinori on the Genji.
And of course, High Vision just gonna, as soon as he can break down these barriers from this out of Bernard, that does make him that much more vulnerable to Clear if he can ramp up that energy, but it's gonna be Bernard striking first and foremost as High Vision gets taken down. That Hanzo immediately out of the equation here on the attack.
I mean, High Vision on the Hanzo, great for breaking down the barrier, like you said, for Burnout, but how do you challenge Flora? So that's why he's got to go towards the Ashe. Once he realizes, okay, I'm getting heavily outranged by Flora on the Ashe, I can't really have any pressure onto Alpha. You're not consistently on Hanzo. You have to play a hit scan here. There's no Widowmaker. Like I said, next best option has to be the Ashe.
Now, a lot of the healing here from Bleed, just dedicated to Clear to try to keep him sustained. Ace going to be tagged down, but High Vision similarly getting chunked away at. But for now, Bleed Esports will be able to open up some space for themselves, pushing the cart here around the second corner. On the home stretch to try to get this cap onto A. Dynamite going through, getting a little bit of damage there onto Bernard, but widely sight lines onto Alfie not being given.
So what you're seeing here is the fact that ZETA Division still have plenty of space to back through. They're playing a poke composition versus Bleed playing more of a rush downside. Lucio Kiriko on top of the Zarya bubbling the Genji. But they need to be able to force ZETA Division into a situation where there's no space to back up, which is where the point is. He gets rocked by Bernard, so goodbye, Claire.
Yep, they saw that last barrier coming through, knew that he was going to have another one in the back pocket, immediately get the accretion off the back of that. Great call from the side of the ZETA Division saying, okay, just burst barrier, hit the accretion, absolutely annihilate Clear. That resets all of that energy as well as all of that progress.
And the thing is, you're right, the progress would have been huge. They were about to round the final corner with a hairpin. Pally getting over towards the Kitsune Rush. Imagine Kitsune Rush 100 Zarya energy. You're like beaming Bernard down at full charge with the Kitsune Rush. I mean, that would have been dangerous for ZETA Division to go up again. But the momentum reset here, it's going to cost a bit of time. Importantly, it allows ZETA Division also to get more ultimates. They now have Bob as well. So once feelings go up, Bob might just come through.
Kitsune Rush going to be coming through, but Finn looking to just go ahead and lock him in place as he dumps that Amp Matrix out. You can see the HP bars going critical every single time they try to push around the corner. Clear trying to get that beam across, trying to get in on top of Bernard, trying to whittle down that Sigma, but the Flux now is online. High Vision down low on HP. Tries to stay alive. Sound Barrier going to be dropped in from Ace, keeping them all sustained for the time being, but now grabbed into the back line. Immortality Field there, cleared out, and instantly kills going to be found as Violet and Floor will fall, but in response, 2 quick kills going to be found as well. Clear falling low. Alfie, oh no! Goes down by his own hand, but Bernard is there to go ahead and scoop the kill all the same. The card not being pushed forward. Yoshinori having to dash away, trying to grab that health pack, trying to get in on top of Finn, and will be able to collect that kill, but Palette down so low, and Bernard able to get the bounces.
My dude
finds that elimination out of Yoshinori. He's at risk as well.
He just rounds the D12s around the corner. I mean, I think if you are Pally, you're like, I probably live here, but no, you forget that the balls do bounce around the side. Little hyperspheres. Bleed Esports looked like they were in good position to win that fight. They decided to dodge the bob. I don't mind that. Speed boost forward with the rush down for the sound barrier. Now it's High Vision's time to bob. Decent angle. Got to get past the shift though, Bernard.
Gravitic not going to be doing much there against Clear, but also just doesn't have that much energy. So overall, it's just kind of tickling the Sigma. Not able to find too much now. Blade going to be pulled. Looking for the kill. Immortality Field going to be taken down, but Finn does fall. But Alfie instantly able to get in on top of Yoshinori and finds the elimination off the back of that Captive Sun. Pylon going to be cleared out. Still dangerously close here to the cap of Bleed. Need to get this across the line. Only 28 seconds remaining, and Bernard will crumble under the pressure. They're able to keep him surrounded, and that should just about be the cap coming through. Minor delay going to be found, but ultimately Bleed will be able to get their way into A.
Yeah, Pally's timing on that was really incredible because he already used Casino Rush in the previous fight, finds it again extremely quickly. I mean, that's a lot of damage and healing done over that period of time. If there's no Casino Rush, they do not cap because unfortunately the Genji blade with the bubble doesn't get them much. Violet saves his Captive Sun just to get the height. It's not even for the damage, it's just like, okay, I'm just going to dodge the blade entirely by flying in the air. You can't catch me.
Air Matrix here at the top of the street, cleared down below half HP. Accretion does connect on the Palette, but it's going to be clear, falling as Violet has managed to find the shot. Zarya again going to be reset. The next grab not too far away, but the cleanup is looking swift and just here. As the exit attempt is going to be there from Ace, and he just about tucks away into the spawn room doors.
Time is an issue here because if you're Bleed Esports, let's say you cap B with this time, it's unlikely you cap C with the 130 on the OT, so it's uphill from B as well versus a full poke composition where High Vision is really the only one that can kind of have that response back over towards the other side. Clear can't damage mitigate enough. You don't have the shielding or the defensive pressure coming through from the Sigma that Bernard's playing. What does grab really give him here? Can you even find a good grab?
That's going to be the question. I mean, Clear just can't find a target, can't find a direction to go in. Alfie just up over the top, finding that kill, now dropping down in on top of Pally, and yeah, Suzu, it's not going to do much for you there to get the rockets. Finds the kill on the Flora, but he'll be able to sprint back in as the rest of Bleed Esports just get ripped asunder.
That hit. Wow, that's actually a really nice rock.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that one to hit. Bleed Esports ultimate, but so does ZETA Division, and now the spawn camp can be in. It's a pretty low risk spawn camp. Bernard's the only one that can't really back out properly, but everyone else can sort of just walk away. High ground controlled by Flora. Alfie is still flying around, and you know they're not playing the same angle as well, so High Vision has to connect and only shoot one of them at a time. It's pretty rough. You can't also, by the way, win these poke battles because you have a healing. You have the healing, you know, from the turret from Violet.
Bob out. Flux going to be sent. Bernard moving up high enough to not get clipped there. Down barrier shielding coming through, keeping Clear alive, and actually the Bob is going to be able to take Bernard down. My Vision coming up with that opening elimination. Flores not doing too much, just trying to soften up the back lines, but ultimately, Bleed Esports will be able to get their way back over onto the card. It's high energy here for Clear. He does still have that grab online, ready to go. Albeino waiting to strike, struck around the corner! He pulls the trigger, the lurking Pharah, something that you do not see every day. Yeah. As the Barrage gets the elimination as soon as the grab is let loose. And now, ZETA Division very much are in the driver's seat once more.
And Claire finally moves up to D.Va. You have to understand here, you're playing Zarya, there must be some sort of situation where Claire believes a Zarya rushdown can work versus Sigma. Bernard's also gone towards a D.Va here. You have to control Alpha E. They thought they could do so with High Vision playing the Ashe, not the case. A lot of swaps actually. Alpha E got to go back towards Mei now for the final engagement. This might not be a cap for Bleed. Has to be a really nice blade, but this time, zero bubble to protect them.
Don't have the bubbles. Nothing else to really work with. The sound barrier shielding far away. Finn, of course, will have that immortality field to try to buy some space, but also the Amp Matrix online to try to shut him down. Violet's the one that's going to be the target here, but so far it's just the pylon going to be found the deflected, having to come through, but Flora is still able to collect the kill from behind. Immortality field working a treat to keep Finn alive and well. Mech broken down, Clear eliminated. The cart still inching forward, gaining a little bit of additional space. But getting the cap here onto B is a far cry hope for the side of Bleed Esports, who are being bled dry.
And that might just be it. Bleed Esports. The final hopes in this series now, and it's looking grim. I think it's looking very ZETA Division at the moment. Bleed, in my opinion, have to can't be. They do not. You have a situation where Yoshinori has the only ultimate remaining for that final fight. Solo Blade, no real support, no support ultimates, no bubbles. Clear can only do so much. You see the level appeal that ZETA Division have. Yoshinori did bait out the outburst coming through, but then lands on top of what? BAP Lamp coming through the MO there. Burnout also coming through the Matrix and just pushing even Yoshinori aside, putting his body on the line. And once Yoshinori's down, Bleed, no real resources left. I still think Bleed should have just played the D.Va from the start. Even the Ram here. The Ram is acceptable. They decide to gamble on the Zarya. And in fashion, based on the fact that we are in Monaco, the gambling did not pay out. And
no.
They've been robbed blind.
Well, ZETA in this instance, they are the house, and it looks like they are about to win. It would have to be quite the monstrous defense here from Bleed Esports to save this off and push us over to a 5th and final map.
Here's the other thing, though. You go Ram, that's great into Burnout. How do you deal with Alpha Yi? I think Alpha Yi is actually probably the biggest issue right now. I saw very little pressure onto Alpha Yi.
I mean,
over the course of the last two, not just one, also the last map as well.
He was the one who was really layering in the most damage onto Clear. And frankly, with him moving over onto the Ramatra, that's not necessarily going to be that much different for him. So still, he's going to have to worry about those rockets flying through.
He's got a better matchup on the ground versus Burnout, which I do think is important. I mean, that you can't really underestimate. But we look over towards Yoshinori 2K. It's Echo versus Fire. He has to be the controlling force.
But, I mean, already, I was going to say High Vision also there to layer in some additional damage, but not for very long. As Flora finds that headshot, takes him down. Now, full backpedal here from the side of Bleed Esports, but Alpha E is looking to deny that away. Just sending out the concussive blast, trying to knock him a little bit further forward, trying to find these picks. Ace still down, below half HP. Probably going to be joining him as well in that regard. He's just stuck into the corner, and Bernard is just donk walking towards him. Gets the rock across. Clear gets knocked to the floor. The headshot comes in. A coup de grace as they continue pushing on their merry way.
Yeah, shake him down for every last penny. You didn't just clear out their bank account. Let's see if they got any coins in the pockets to Bleed. They are going to lose A in just a moment here. They need to regroup quickly, get this Katrina rush out. Pally's still looking for it. 13% away, but when you look at Bernard just walking up, it's done. Pally's gone, the cab comes through, and Bleed, they're not even in contention to stop the point and contest whatsoever.
Yep, Bernard just gliding towards them menacingly as everyone in his wake is absolutely dropping dead. Clear now, trying to stay alive, trying to get some heals through, but they just continue to push forward now, trying to touch the second spawn room doors. A pylon set up. Violence says, yeah, we're here for the long haul. Cards being brought up slowly from behind.
I hate to say it, but this is just getting sad now. Bleed Esports, they're like barely getting out of spawn. They're about to get spawn camped on attacking phase. Flores solo capping by himself. Payload Princess as the Ash. Bleed are going to have to burn ult, but probably just to get out of spawn unless ZETA Division decides to let go. A little bit of pressure.
The Matrix. Looking to just continue to hold them at bay, continue to stave them off. That cart continuing to be brought forward by Flora. Alpha Yi, similarly, he can get tucked away again, try to go for another surprise barrage.
Bleed are going to have to ult here. They're getting desperate. I mean, the payload's about to be there.
Well, there's the Nano. Clear the recipient, trying to push forward. The Annihilation still far away, but High Vision does find an opening kill as Bernard will fall. Captain Sun to try to lock them in. Sends it out, gets the target here. Hit on the two. Yoshinori going to be taken down. Sitting rush could be thrown in here by Pale, but he himself is not going to last very long. Alpha will kill himself off for a second time with that barrage. The Annihilation will hold the cart in place for a brief little moment. Bob, however, going to be invested. Floor still looking to try to turn the tides of this one as the healing amp does come through. Push back on the shotgun, the pickup on the flux, and the cart should just basically glide forward from here. Accretion will go ahead and shove them back, and it's 0.84 meters left to go as Yoshinori as well as Pale will fall for the final time here on the map. The push is there, and ZETA Division have the victory, 3-1 over Bleed.
I mean, it just goes from bad to worse, unfortunately, for Bleed. ZETA Division at the end there